And how do you think the military is changing the war strategy by using robots?
This is a global phenomenon, of course, as well. There's 43 other countries that are building, buying, and using military robotics. And of course, we're also starting to arm these with weapons. It's also the importance of them is changing as well. So it's not just the numbers, but the importance. We see this in the operations in the Middle East, where the commander of U.S. forces in the Middle East described the Predator drone as his most valuable weapon system overall. He didn't say most valuable robotic weapon system, he said most valuable weapon system overall. Now, we can argue whether this is a good or a bad thing, but the fact that we're talking about the centralness of these technologies to how we plan and carry out operations in war, I think is a graphic illustration of the change that's happening. We're seeing how it affects political decisions. We have been carrying out a very large number of airstrikes into Pakistan, but because they're unmanned, we haven't had the same kind of discussion about them that we would normally. The number of airstrikes into Pakistan is actually greater than the number of airstrikes we had into Kosovo during the Kosovo War 10 years ago. But for some reason we don't describe it as a war. And I think it's because of the technology we're using. We're using robotic planes rather than manned bombers, and so that changes the way the discussion is. Our Congress hasn't had a single hearing on this issue. The people who are operating the systems are going to war, but not going to war in the old meaning of the term. They aren't actually going to a place of danger. They're not going to an environment where there's such danger they might never come home again. They're actually waking up in the morning and commuting into work the way anyone else does with a normal job. And yet they're engaged in war. And so this is these sort of major changes that come out of it that show how this technology is different than sort of the run-of-the-mill technologies, that it's more like something along the lines of the machine gun or the airplane or gunpowder that has just a bigger effect on our world than the norm.